I think people really, especially with hair loss, right, we get told so often that it's genetic and it's from your mother's side. So if your mom's dad was bald, you're going to be bald. And that is not true. They have completely proved that it doesn't come from just one side of your family. It can come from either side. And you can be like genetically predisposed to hair loss. But guess what? It's your daily habits that are going to determine whether you're going to lose hair when you're 60 or when you're 30.
Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Susan Robbins, epigenetic human performance coach. This is where we discuss all things lifestyle, environment, food, exercise, work, mind, and social interaction as they pertain to epigenetic expression in a way that's relatable to everyone. So if you're ready to start viewing you as an individual, take control of your life and health, and get results, buckle up, here we go. Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Susan Robbins, and this is the place where we talk about everything, lifestyle and environment, and how it relates to our genetic expression. Today, I want predominantly the ladies to listen up, but dudes, there could be something in here for you as well. We are going to be talking to a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, but it's going to be around hair loss. And this is something that has affected me personally. I told people, if you look at me and see this massive mop of hair I have, which just knocked an earbud out, you would not know that I have literally lost half of my hair over the last several years due to thyroid and hormone issues. And it can be so mentally debilitating, especially for women, because a lot of times we identify with our hair. This is who we are. This makes me the girl. And I've had the super short hair. Anybody remembers me in the academy? I was like, when they said you had 10 minutes to get ready sometimes, and that's from the shower. You want to look at this? I was like, I went to Great Clips and said, take your clippers to it until it stands up. So I was literally ready in 10 minutes. Right? And I thought, okay, I was always fine. I always had plenty of hair. And then it started several years ago. What is happening here? And like I said, turned out to be thyroid hormones. And our guest is going to speak on this today as well. How people think, well, it's genetic. Look at my mom's side of the family. Everybody there is bald. Whatever. My mom was bald. But she's going to say what epigenetics isn't always the cause, that the hair loss is the symptom. I think you're going to hear some fantastic, because we've been talking for 20 minutes on this. And I said, better hit record here, because this is some gold that she's going to bring out here. But for those of us who have been dealing with hair loss or dealt with it or knows somebody that's dealing with it, turn up the volume, settle in, because this is going to be a conversation you don't want to miss. It does tend to affect, I think, the women more significantly, because it is such an identity to us in a lot of ways. But I know a lot of guys also, they're doing everything. They're going to go get, some of them will get the hair plugs, or they'll leave that little tuft right in the front just to say, I've still got a little left. And I'm like, bro, just buzz it. A bald head, there's nothing wrong with a bald head, but it's okay. There's such a stigma around it. Oh my God, it's a bald guy. Yeah. Bald guys rock. Own it. But when we look at what the causes are, there's always a reason for it. And it's not always genetic. And that's where we're going to go with this today. And I think you're going to love it. So buckle up. My guest today is Carrie Hicks. She's actually a hairstylist salon owner that started looking for real answers to her clients' hair loss after the pandemic of 2020, when an alarming number of female clients lost more than half their hair. She is the founder of Crimson and Clover Hair Studio in Flagstaff, Arizona, and Nourished Hair Loss and Wellness, and is a licensed cosmetologist, certified holistic nutritionist, and a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. So welcome, Miss Carrie Hicks, to the show.
Hi, Susan. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so pumped for this conversation today. This is my jam.
That's what I want. So Carrie was another one who, when I was on that Facebook group of podcasters, and I said, I'm looking for something different because everybody is I'm all about diet and nutrition. Okay, but you know what? So is everybody else. So am I. But I am so precise in what I do that I'm just like, if you're offering a one size fits all, I don't want to talk about it because I don't, it's just not precision health. It doesn't have anything to do with genetics. And so I see Carrie's this hair loss. And I think it was like a 2-second delay where I grabbed the laptop and I said, "Oh my God, you have to come on. You have to have this conversation." Because as I said in the beginning, I have dealt with this to where, and I have a ton of hair. People have no idea that that I've lost so much of it to where pulling my hair back, there's times I'm afraid to pull my hair back. I wouldn't have wanted to. It's actually growing back now with getting things under control, but I used to have such flexibility. If I wanted to wear my hair down, great. If I wanted to go out somewhere at night, it was nice. I could pull my hair back into a cute pony and still look nice and classy. And I'm going, really? Now I'll have to powder that shit in because I, you know, and then you're in the shower and you're washing your hair and you're putting your fingers through it with the shampoo and you're pulling out clumps. And I've said it's like being like, I know I understand what a chemo patient feels like when
It's
you see
devastating.
literally clumps. You're crying in the shower. Or I get out of the shower and go, okay, it's done. And then you see my hair's not straight. I actually straightened my hair for years. And it wasn't until 2020 when I started having hair loss. Now, I've never had COVID, never got vaxxed or anything. So it didn't have anything to do with that. That's when my thyroid and hormones really started going crazy. And it was the first time I was comfortable with wearing my hair curly because I didn't want to straighten it because you could see how much thinner it was getting. And then when I would brush it, it was like clumps, blow it dry. And even when you're done drying it, I would pull down on it and I would have another handful coming out. And it was just like, it never stopped. And so I would go 3, 4 days without washing my hair because I didn't want to get in the shower and cry about it. And then it makes it, am I correct? It makes it worse because we typically lose, I guess they say 50 to 100 hairs a day
Yeah.
normally.
Mm.
If I haven't brushed it and I don't brush curly hair, I get in the shower and,
Then it's more traumatizing.
oh my God. And you do the snake in the drain when it starts
Oh, yeah.
clogging. You go, there's the right side of my head. Just came out of that shower. And then you're crying again. And it is the most mentally debilitating thing, and you're like, "Why? Why is this happening?"
Yeah,
So,
it's
I
traumatic. It's traumatic, and just what
mm,
you said, I have to explain that to women. You're losing this many hairs a day naturally, so when you're skipping and you're seeing that all at once, yeah, don't do that to yourself.
now, so tell us how you got into this. So everything started in 2020. Tell us a bit about what you were seeing as that was happening, and then, how you decided to say, all right, I want to start going after this hair loss business and down to where you looked at doing this World Congress of Trichology, something I'd never heard of. Fill us in on all this because this truly, as we've talked before we hit record, is really just completely fascinating.
I think this journey started like most health people in the health industry, it starts usually with your own health story, and so just having some of my own health issues and then going through the experience of my mom dying at age 66 of things she did not need to die from, going through that process with her and just watching like traditional medicine basically fail her and just not getting the answers. Nothing made sense. So I was already on this journey and that's where I had already gotten a holistic nutrition certification because I was looking for answers to some of those things on my own. But then, yeah, the pandemic happened, and as a salon, we got shut down for several weeks,
Oh, that's
and
right. Yeah.
and so you had tons of stress there. But I will say during that time leading up to that, so my mother died in 2019, and that had been a few year process and hospice, all the things, and so after that, I started that holistic nutrition certification. And with that, I ended up doing a whole food plant-based diet for a year and no garbage, no processed foods, none of that. So keep in mind, I was doing that diet for a year. Then we go into this pandemic and we're shut down. You have the stress of that as a
Yep.
business owner and trying to make sure you can still pay your bills, all the good stuff. And we get back to work finally. And about 6 months in, our clients started showing up just traumatized women having crazy amounts of hair loss and several of them losing more than half of their hair. And just it was so sad. It was so sad. And these women are traumatized and of course they want answers, right? And they're asking us as stylists and we didn't have the answers. Granted, I went to beauty school 30 years ago, so whatever answers they gave me then are not relevant today, probably.
Sure.
That sent me looking for advanced hair loss education. So I attended some classes, some courses that were very helpful. I was able to help some of my clients, but they still weren't giving me kind of those upstream answers. Because in the hair loss world, we're still told that so much of it is genetic and that so much of it is caused by a sensitivity to a hormone called dihydrotestosterone, which is DHT.
Yeah. DHT.
And yes, that does can and does play a part, but in women especially, what I see, it's stress. It's like inflammation, it's insulin resistance, it's poor digestion and nutrient absorption, it's nutrient deficiency, it's liver function and detoxification being compromised. Like there are so many pieces to this puzzle. And
Mhm.
all of those things I just named come down to epigenetics, right? And so that's what I was
Yep.
so excited about what you do. And so that took me down that path of that advanced education. And so I thought I was going to attend trichology school. Trichology is this paramedical space between cosmetology and dermatology. And they just focus on scalp health, hair loss, and they truly are amazing. And they do take a more holistic approach. So I went to this conference, this 3-day conference, and it was amazing, but I still had more questions when I left than I had answers.
Mhm.
And that's what led me to FDN and becoming a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner because
Mhm.
they're all about the big picture, identifying the stressors that are contributing to your health issues, your chronic health issues, and identifying them, removing as many as possible, and then supporting the body in regaining homeostasis. And and the big message here that I want women to understand is that hair loss is a symptom. Now, like I know it feels like
Nah.
the problem, right?
The
The
thing.
issue, the thing.
The
And just tell me how to fix it. Give me the serums, give me the shampoo, the
They don't do
give me the
anything.
biotin supplement. Give me the
Oh
things
my
right now that
god.
are gonna fix it. And so they're coming to me and I'm like, "Let's look let's look at your mineral status. Let's look at your digestion. Let's look at" and I'm and that's not what they wanna hear, right? Because we're all about instant gratification. I want the quick fix.
Sure,
Plus, we're traumatized,
sure.
right? We
Yeah.
wanna
Yep.
we
You
wanna
want your hair coming back.
yes, we wanna feel like ourselves and look like ourselves.
Yes.
And but that truly to truly heal hair loss, you have to get to all these other things. And then when
Mhm.
you get into I know all of these people that are doing PRP, so the injections where they're pulling your own blood, getting the plasma and injecting it into your scalp. And these treatments, well, yeah, they can be effective. They're really expensive, they're
They're super
painful,
expensive.
and
Yep.
yeah, and painful, and do they work? Yes, but you're only gonna get short-term results if you're not taking care of all of these other contributing factors, right? So if you want that
Amen.
investment to last and truly be worth what you're putting into it, let's work on all this other stuff first. And it really does
Right.
come down to your environment, your lifestyle choices and habits, the things you're being exposed to. And so that's what I really try to help women identify and work on. And then I can help them with the topical hair loss and stuff. But that's how
Sure.
that's how I ended up becoming an FDN, just to really truly help women get to the root cause of hair loss. And
Yeah.
and we're still on this journey. In my practice, while I still help with hair loss, I truly am focusing on all of the things that contribute to true health.
Sure.
Sunlight
Because that's what's
grounding,
gonna
all the
affect the
things.
hairs.
Yes, yes, and then
Yeah.
stress, right? Stress, and I will tell you, I've always been the woman that when they told you, like, "Oh, stress, stress, stress," and I'd be like, "Yeah, whatever." I never was willing to even look at what it truly does, and then FDN, that's really a huge part of that program, is the stress response and what it does to the body, the cascade effect it has on hormones and
Mhm.
digestion and all of the things, and I would say that's probably the most challenging part of working with women, because when you tell a woman, "Well, you need to reduce your stress," you either get laughed at, you get the eye roll, you get the, "That's just not possible, so figure something else out." And
Yeah.
so I hope women really do truly realize that how much that truly is affecting them and their hair.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I know that from a personal standpoint as well, not just and a professional standpoint. And you have different people with what I work with the 6 different health types, different things stress them differently.
Yes.
Me, we've had the deep freeze again. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna go out and play in single digits. That's just not I don't enjoy that. Even if it's sunny, and the other day I said, "I'm gonna walk down to the mailbox, it's sunny out." This was a couple weeks ago when we had the first deep freeze. It was like 4 degrees, and the mailbox is maybe 100 feet from my condo, and I had this much exposed on my face, and my nose was, like, painfully numb by the time I got to the mailbox. I was like, "Screw this,
Yes,
I'm going back in."
yeah, I'm
And
not gonna go sit outside in the sun.
this this is not fun to me. I'd rather sit in the window. But for my type, made for movement, not being able to get out and move like I want to drives me crazy. I just got a little walking pad for my back, but I got on it the other day. I was done and it was dark by the time I was done and it was cold. So I just got on there and walked for 45 minutes and I felt it reduces stress. Other people, it could be their environment, clutter,
Mhm, mhm.
stress them like crazy. Any chaos in the house, like just, and when we say get rid of the stressors, you can lower those stressors, but then we also have the good stressors in our life,
Yes.
right? We have exercise, you get married, you buy a new house, you get a new job. They're great, but they're still stress.
Stressors.
We're
Mhm.
constantly surrounded by it. So how are we handling it? What are we doing? Are we doing the right things? Or are we drinking booze, having that glass of wine to quote, take the edge off at night, which is then going to affect the sleep negatively,
Yep.
right? What are we doing? Are we eating the comfort foods? And especially again, night when we don't need to be eating before bedtime and putting that stress on the system. So I think there's just so many things that go into it. And when people realize, and you have some types that are just so routine that the thought of throwing off that routine when they're thinking, I just want a quick fix, that's a stress alone to them.
Mhm. Yeah.
And there's just all that resistance around it. So yeah, I totally see that around stress. And with me with the terrible sleep with this back thing, which I think I finally turned the corner yesterday with a new PT, like that I got referred to. I hadn't slept. I had not even 2 weeks worth over now 4 months of good sleep. And I got my labs back. And I have worn the CGM. And the only 2 times my blood sugar spiked in a month was during 2 stressful events. Otherwise, I'm like little blips. My lipids were affected. My hormones were crazy affected. Inflammation because lack of quality sleep, the extra stress that affects major DNA SNPs, right?
Yeah.
Of inflammation.
Yeah, and that's what I really want people to realize, and that's why I love this holistic approach is because everything is tied together.
Everything's tied together.
And it's synergistic, and I think there's been such a disservice done to us in the health space, like in modern medicine, because they compartmentalize everything. They treat us like a car, like a machine. Oh, fan belt's broke. Let's just pop in a new one. And that's the one thing I hate showing people their labs. One reason I hate showing people their labs, like for me, it's this big picture of information. But people want to see that data and they're like, oh, my zinc's low. I better take more zinc. They just want to do plug and play. And
Yeah.
it can't do that. That's not how the body works. That's the other thing we work on. So you're talking about all those things that your sleep affected.
Unbelievable.
Everything is tied together. And it's the same with hair loss.
Yeah.
It's never just one cause. And so we just have to break things down and identify as much as we can and work on as much as we can. And you just do the best we can and just know that that one little serum is not going to fix it for you. That one little
I'm
biotin
sorry,
gummy,
ladies.
that biotin gummy is not going to do much. And then, so that's my big message. I just
Yeah.
That's the
The
message
$80
here.
that $80 bottle of Nutrafol, not gonna fix it.
Well,
But
I
it
will say,
helps.
yeah,
Have some
Nutrafol is
help.
helpful.
Yeah,
I would
but
I
it's
would say
not the
out of
root.
no, it's not the root cause, but I will say that Nutrafol does the best job of this holistic approach. They understand the stressors on the body and the stress response of the body, and so they've got the just the regular supplement, but they've got adaptogens. They've got it figured
Yeah.
out. And I get nothing from Nutrafol, but I will say that, uh,
Now, I part of the reason we're here is if there's things that are actionable, so if that's one of the better hair supplements
yeah,
that you're recommending, then that's good to know because it is not cheap. There's
no,
cheaper things out there. So,
no, but
if
they
that's
had
one
it
of the things
figured
that's
out.
better,
Yeah,
yeah,
the woman who one of the founders, I've listened to several podcasts of hers, and she's amazing, and they completely understand how the body works. They've got this holistic approach, and they are treating everything from all the angles. So,
yeah. And that's the way everything needs to be looked at from all the angles. I say this all the time on here. It's a complex system. The body, why are we looking at just one thing,
yeah,
like
and
looking at one snip of DNA? You can't go off of one thing. It all ties
no,
together.
yeah, and then I love your approach with this whole epigenetics because you and I talked before, and we have this device in the salon that we use, and it's this little S drive device. It is this epigenetic follicle analysis machine. And we pull 4 or 5 hairs from the back of someone's head and we put it in this device and it does this vibrational read. And don't ask me how it works because I have no idea. But it's accurate because we have tested, we have tried this thing out. But it sends this data off to a lab in Germany. And within 15 minutes, I get back a 30-page report. And it shows me your vitamins, your minerals, your fatty acids, amino acids. It shows me your like environmental factors. So like how's EMF load
You're
affecting you?
kidding.
No, so your Wi-Fi, your cell phone, your computer screen, that shows up. Fungus,
Oh my God.
bacteria, parasites, viruses, heavy metals. This little report is super helpful in with hair loss. So we use it in the salon for hair loss, but it
Mhm.
it provides different reports. I can choose what kind of report I wanna do. So, mostly I use an immunity report, and it looks at other things, like the different systems in your body. So, how is this affecting your your circulatory system or your digestive system or your immune system? So, it shows me certain deficiencies or factors that are affecting your overall health. And again, anytime you take a hair sample, whether it's this test or another test that I do, looking at a hair sample gives you this 90-day overview of what's gone on in your body. And
Mhm.
and blood work is like a 72-hour window. So that's why I love the hair tissue mineral analysis, which is a lab. I have to send that to the lab. And
Mhm.
this hair follicle analysis that we do in the salon. So I just love that we are getting a bigger picture of how your environment and your habits are affecting you.
Yeah, that just
So
blows me away that it picks up on all of that.
yeah, it's amazing. And it'll even show foods, like different foods that are affecting you. And they're not a sensitivity or an allergy, but they are literally foods that are causing your body to pull energy away from other important processes
Sure.
to deal with. So, okay. And I think I see this a lot, especially with the hair tissue mineral analysis. I see so many women in a catabolic state. Like their body is literally eating itself to to support regular everyday functions and systems.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
women, the, I would say in the hair loss world, the biggest thing I see is nutrient deficiencies. Women they're not eating enough calories. They're not getting enough quality protein. They're not getting those amino acids. And earlier, when we started this conversation, I mentioned I had done this whole food plant-based diet for a
Yes.
year. And it was a really great healing modality for that year. It helped me with some skin issues, some IBS, things like that. But after that year, I started losing my hair. And
That's what I figured was coming.
and crazy amounts of hair, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And I was not getting the protein and the aminos. And not only was I losing my hair, I started losing muscle tone like crazy because at the time I was in my late 40s. So hello, perimenopause. So you're just getting hit from every angle.
Yeah.
And so this like dietary factors play a huge part. The quality of your food, the amount of your
Absolutely.
food. I mean,
Timing.
yes, timing and food truly is medicine.
It
It
is.
you need it
Yeah.
and some all the things, right? But so I just love that you take this approach that you study epigenetics and you're getting this message out because I think people really, especially with hair loss, right, we get told so often that it's genetic and it's from your mother's side. So if your mom's dad was bald, you're going to be bald. And that is not true. They have completely proved that it doesn't come from just one side of your family. It can come from either side. And you can be like genetically predisposed to hair loss. But guess what? It's your daily habits that are going to determine whether you're going to lose hair when you're 60 or when you're 30. So let's say maybe you are like, it's programmed in there that sometime down in your lifetime, you're probably going to start losing some hair, but you can control when that starts. Put it off as long as possible. But if you are not taking care of your metabolic health and you're insulin resistant and you're estrogen dominant and you're not moving your body, all of these things, that is going to trigger hair loss. And so between nutrient deficiencies, insulin resistant plays a huge factor, even in
Goes
the
in
DHT.
everything.
Yes, and everything. I mean,
Huge.
and the more
Alzheimer's, name it.
yes, all of it. And I think because where they're calling it what
Alzheimer's
type
type
3
3.
yeah, type 3 diabetes and
Yeah.
yes, I literally even with people with hair loss, when people come to me and want help with hair loss, I start everybody with a hair tissue mineral analysis. It
Mhm.
shows me your stress, like where you're at with your stress response, your adrenals, your thyroid, your hormones, but it shows me your blood sugar control, like how well is your body handling that? And then do you even have the proper cofactors? Because again, nutrient deficiencies and minerals are the spark plugs of the body. So I start everybody there. And then lifestyle. And then if we need to go and do more testing, we can. But it that HTMA really truly shows me what your lifestyle has done to your health. And
'Cause here's a
those
question for
environmental
you.
factors.
Yeah, absolutely. Question for you. So you see someone's got the insulin resistance or they're type 2 diabetic. And the first thing they're gonna say now is, give me some of the Ozempic, then I can lose some weight too.
Mhm.
The docs immediately, we're gonna put you on metformin.
Yeah.
If you're still not addressing the choices that you've made to get you to this point, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You can't slap a Band-Aid on it and think it's gonna be okay. And guess what? Those Band-Aids wear off.
They sure do. They sure
The
do.
the Band-Aids wear off, and then you are worse than when you started out.
Yep. Yep.
And Ozempic, there is Ozempic hair loss. Like, I know if you do a little quick Google search, it'll say no, but it absolutely anytime you have a rapid weight loss, it affects
Mhm.
everything, and it puts your body in
Everything.
the stress response, and you can literally lose hair just from that.
Now, are you seeing that more so with the microdosing they're doing now or the bigger doses that they were doing in the beginning that were just wrecking people.
Yeah,
I know some people don't even tolerate the microdose because I've talked to some that are just like, it just isn't for me. It is. It's same with anything, right? We're all made
different.
differently, so we don't tolerate the same supplements or foods. We're also unique. But do you see anything with something like the Ozempic?
I've only had a couple people come to me because of Ozempic that they were concerned about, and they were not on the microdosing. They were on the bigger doses. So I really don't have any personal experience with
Yeah,
that
I think there were a
difference.
lot of docs that were just putting them on. Hey, the more the better. Hey, if a little bit's good, let's. If you have that much to lose, let's just give you a bunch. And I think that really played a big part from just what I've seen, even on Facebook pages of people
That's
talking about it.
Yeah, and I'm seeing what I have seen just online and me just looking for information is that a lot of people are they're losing weight, but they're losing muscle. So
Muscle too.
what is that doing to your overall health
Yep.
and your
Yep.
hair growth? And people need to understand that when your body is in some kind of a stress response, you're I know that hair is our priority as women, but it is not your body's priority. Like your body's, no, we're gonna stay
That's where it
alive.
shuts off.
So we're
Yep.
gonna pull this energy and the nutrients and the things
Mhm.
we would normally use to grow hair, and we're gonna pull that away, and we need to put them here because this is more important. And so people need to realize that also. And that's again where that stress comes in. But so you think about you're taking different drugs and you're losing all this weight and you're losing muscle, like your body is stressed. And
Mhm.
it's things are happening that are not supposed to be happening, and that's gonna affect everything, and including hair.
Yeah, and I'm cool. If someone wants to do their microdosing and all, have at it. But I like if someone asks my opinion on it, I say, why don't you try lifestyle first?
Mhm.
If you haven't,
Always.
if you haven't done like work with personalized, something personalized, not the generic recommendations. Come and work with me and let's see if we can keep you because you just might be eating the right things, but at the wrong times. Likely you're eating a lot of the wrong things because you're hearing these are all the things that you need. Everybody needs this. Not everybody tolerates it as they should. It could be exacerbating
Yeah,
other things that are happening.
and
And it's just, yeah.
and I see a lot of over supplementation.
Oh my God.
They're
Uh,
taking all the things, like, so you're wasting money, and then, I
and they
see
don't know
so many
why.
they don't know why, and then
Let the
most
experts
people
say to use it.
yes, and yeah. Again, plug and play, and
Yeah. Yeah.
And then most women that the ones that I not even work with, but even talk to in the salon, so that's thousands of women. Digestion is an issue for so many people. They have compromised digestion, they have poor gut bacteria, and so you can take all this stuff and you're just wasting your money. You're not getting
You're not
any
even
of the
absorbing it.
no, and then the other thing is working in the world like I really like getting back to hair tissue mineral analysis and working with mineral status and mineral depletion and trying to get everything balanced back up. I see you can screw yourself up so bad if you're taking the wrong things. Like people, especially
Absolutely.
supplementing with a single mineral, can just throw everything off so badly and cause bigger problems. And I see a lot of calcium shells. Like that's a whole nother separate episode, like podcast episode there. And so my favorite way to do this, because I know you're so specialized in what you do, you're looking for, okay, how do we specifically address these things and help you? And that's what I do is I work with a company called Vicon, and I literally will take results from HTMA and have their their supplements custom formulated for them. Right? So we're not
Mhm.
wasting money. We're not
Yep.
wasting time.
Yep.
And then we're actually seeing huge results. Like we're moving the needle and people are feeling better, but it's because it is specific to what they actually need. Which
Yeah.
again,
I agree. Yeah.
epigenetics.
I ask people what all right, so I like to see a list of everything you're taking and then when I go over the DNA specifically, we can really see where some support might be needed. But I don't just say to somebody, just because of this genetic snip, they have no clue why they're taking it. And when I'm looking at the DNA, I want to look at labs to back things up too, because even there's a lot of DNA reports. There's just generic DNA reports. Here's what you've got. Here's what you need to take. But does this person actually need this? Their
Mhm.
genetics say there's a propensity for them needing it, but what's actually expressing to see, do we need this and how much? And you'll see that they'll, especially around like MTHFR, they're going to go for the methylation supplement that has the most stuff in it. And that can send people in the opposite direction. Start low and slow, see what you actually need. Let's look at the right labs to get you there, because it's just crazy. And people think more is better with everything. And
Mhm.
it's just not. Like you said, it can really take you down the wrong direction. And it when you brought up about the minerals, I had Caroline Allen on, who is a
Oh,
co-founder of
yeah.
Minerals.
Loved that episode, loved it. I would love to
Thank
have her
you.
on I would love to get her on my podcast, so I'm gonna be reaching out to
Yeah,
her.
she's fantastic. She was my number so out of the top 5 podcasts last year, hers was number 1. Blew me
That's
away. I had no
that's
idea there
awesome.
was 15 minerals. And I'm not one of those that is on a podcast touting all these products. I don't do that. I will never do that. I'm not gonna tout something unless I use it, and I've used it with clients and find it super beneficial. B Minerals is the one, like, that I
Mhm.
will promote. I would promote all day long. I'm using it on my cats. I'm putting
Oh,
their
great.
if they have a feline one, right? So I'm like, okay, why not? And she specifically talked about the single minerals, how people, well, I'm gonna go just take all the zinc, or I'm gonna do all the calcium. And they go,
Mhm. Oh, calcium's the worst.
Jesus, and it throws off the body crazy, like crazy. So yeah, I totally resonated when you brought that up.
And I
So,
love that you're giving your cat the minerals because our animals are so sick, right? They get crappy food and they're
oh
nutrient
my God.
deficient. And that epigenetic follicle test I can do on cats and dogs. And
Oh, you're kidding.
no, even horses. But it's so cool that the animals that I've done it on, actually, the really sad thing is the EMFs, like the Wi-Fi in our homes. We get so
It's
bombarded
affecting them.
horribly because they're so small, they're little. They're getting it on a level, so every animal I've ever done, the EMFs are crazy, and turn your Wi-Fi off at night. Put it on a timer, a Christmas tree light timer. They're like so all these things that we can't see, we don't think about them because we don't see them, but they are truly affecting our health. But so keep giving your cat the minerals because that helps your
Wow.
body detox things like
Detox.
EMFs. Yes. So
Exactly.
so yes, the minerals, I'm all about minerals first. That's where you have to start and
Do them the right way.
do them the right way.
Like that.
Know what you
Yeah.
need. You don't just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. He the one that was just up here visiting me. He only wants attention when I'm doing a podcast, I swear. Or no, wait.
I locked mine out because she would be up here.
It's real relatable, right? That's
Yeah.
what when I started the podcast last year, the guy that helped me with the podcast from Ireland, he's leave your cat tree up. Let them come in. He said that's part of your real and relatable. Until he would be up here, and then the tail around my neck when I had my non-ball chair after my back stuff had changed out. And I'm like, "Oh my God, he's driving me crazy." But I noticed he started getting little white patches. So I think it's vitiligo. And cats can
Oh.
get that. Because I thought, what is a little bit? He's a Russian blue. And he had these 2 little white spots, and I'm over here, like, scraping them. "What did you get on you?" And it's
So
like,
do you know have you ever heard of Morley Robbins? Do you know who he is?
yes, yes.
So wrote a book called Cure Your Fatigue, and he's all about the copper. And he says that he explains that back in the day when we had shepherds and the sheep, and he explained the one black sheep. And he said that's when the shepherds knew when it was time to move grazing pastures because it was depleted of minerals, was when the black sheep started getting white spots.
Seriously, that's why I started them on the beam. The other one
Yes.
I haven't hasn't, but she's white, so I wouldn't she's got some white on her,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't notice this much, but I
Well,
noticed it on him, and I thought, "This has to help."
yeah, and premature graying in your hair. Like copper
Yeah,
is a huge mineral
it is.
required for hair. So premature graying can be again nutrient mineral deficiencies. So
Yep, absolutely. I start my day with my beam cocktail.
After I heard your podcast with her, I got on there, I was looking them up, and they're like, I have them in my cart getting ready to order them and try them out because I do other minerals, but I just loved her conversation so much. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
w
she's fantastic. Definitely, I highly recommend Beam. Like I said, I don't go on saying, "I definitely recommend this product, and I've tried it." I'm sorry, you influencers out there, there's no way you can be using every single one of these products.
mhm. But I've
Do your
seen
count.
minerals but I've seen mineral supplementation change, like, support adrenal function, supports thyroid function. So, before you go get on thyroid meds and even, hormone replacement therapy, especially so I'm 52 years old, and like, I see doctors putting women on all of these medications and hormones before addressing adrenal health. And usually, if you can support your adrenals, all of these other things just start falling into place. And minerals is the best place to start, and even glandulars,
We're
and
so
just,
depleted.
yeah, support those adrenals. And guess what? Your life will change. Your life will
Yeah,
change.
and if you change your lifestyle,
Yeah.
that's what I tell people. You can be on all the meds you want because I've contracted for 2.5 years with thyroid hormone specialist. And I tell people, you can get on all the thyroid because people say, I need more T3. I need more of this. I'm going, okay, let's start with when are you sleeping? When
Mhm.
are you eating? What are you eating? What are you doing around stress? Do you journal? What works best for you? Are you working out? When are you working out? Are you putting more stress on the body because of the time you're working out? Or are you doing it at the right time to gain the benefits from it? Why don't you start there?
Yeah.
And then you add that support in. But otherwise, you're going to keep thinking, I need more of this and more of this when you need more of what you're not doing or doing too
Exactly.
much of with your damn lifestyle.
Exactly.
Lifestyle is the key.
It is the key. And then, the big thing I see with thyroid and looking at the HTMA is cell permeability. Like, you end up with a calcium shell. So when your minerals are imbalanced, calcium can become a really big problem. And so that's where I get the women where the doctors tell them, "Oh, your blood work's fine. Everything's normal, but you don't feel
That's
normal."
the normal.
Right? What is
Yeah.
normal? And so they're
Yeah.
they're coming to me, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're producing plenty of thyroid hormone, and that's why it's showing up in your blood, but it's not able to actually get into the cells and do its job." So that's we work from that place. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. We could talk about this stuff all
Yeah.
day long.
So true. So true. So if say there's a woman out there listening right now, what would be the first step you would say to start addressing this issue of the hair loss?
I would I have everybody start by really analyzing their lifestyle, and I start with a questionnaire. And but if you're not gonna work with somebody and you're just, like, out there on your own and you wanna do this, I think start thinking about your liver health, your metabolic health, your digestion. Are you digesting? Are you getting enough protein? Are you even digesting that protein? So digestion, liver, those are the basics of true
Yep.
health. And you're not going to move the needle on anything else, hair loss, your adrenal, anything, until
Yeah.
you really address those things. So I would say start working on those things. And I'd say not maybe in 4-degree weather, but get outside, get in the sunlight,
Get in the sun.
and
Yes.
move your body,
Move.
enjoy your
Yep.
family and your friends, you have some
Mhm.
fun. All of these things are so important. And
Yeah.
the horrible thing about hair loss is that the more women stress about it, the more hair loss it causes, right? It becomes this
Agree.
horrible cycle. And so you get out of that cycle, get out of the cycle, and don't be afraid to work with somebody. I find a lot of resistance because people are like, "Oh, my insurance doesn't cover that." How much has your regular doctor and your insurance company helped you so far?
Yep.
Not much. So just invest in yourself. It's worth it. It's worth it. So
Absolutely.
don't be afraid to find some help and get somebody who specializes in something like that, and do it now. Do it. Just Do it for yourself, do it for your
Take that
family.
first step. And we
Yes.
know that this is a symptom of an underlying issue, which is
Yes.
going to cause you, if you don't make changes, it's going to cause you more issues down the road, which are going to cause more issues to your
Lose
wallet down the road.
yes. Yes.
So,
Yeah, so invest
right?
now so you don't have to pay later.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's like people say, oh, that's a cliche. I don't care if it's a cliche, it's true.
it's true.
It is invest now, or you're going to pay, and you're going to pay very seriously with your quality of life and
Yes.
not being able to do the things you want to do. I will tell you that I've had my lifestyle so dialed in due to doing epigenetics. Like, I literally have my list of foods that I should be eating, and it takes into account hair loss, which is interesting on the
Mm,
questionnaire. Are
mhm.
you losing hair at this time? And people are like, oh yeah, I get to lose in the shower. I go, no, I'm talking excessive. And they go, well, I don't know. I said, okay, then you're not, because
Yeah, yeah.
if you were, you would know, right? Same with
Yes.
everything. If you were, you would know. And so I have my foods dialed in. Like I said, I've used a CGM. I know I don't eat, I don't drink. I haven't drank since early 2019. I know when to train. I know the types of training, backed off the high intensity because I was tired, just not recovering, but I knew I had to move because
Mhm.
otherwise I'll be more stressed. So if I didn't have my lifestyle dialed in, other than this damn sleep, and this is what my issue has been, and people are probably, it's broken record because I've talked about it in the podcast, but it's been this back issue. And when I'm moving, I'm fine. I can hike up 2,000 feet. Not a problem. Cross country ski, not a problem. Go to the gym, not a problem. Try to sleep, problem. Body pillow, other pillow, legs at a 90-degree angle. Sometimes with my ankles up this way.
Full
It's not
production.
fun. It's, I wake up with my knee stiff from sitting like that, but I've woken up in some funky positions, but was what would keep me awake, not getting comfortable, that the pain was so bad. But it's only when I sleep. And people, oh, it's only when you sleep. Yeah, but then I can't recover and
Mhm.
what to do. So quality of life. But had I not had everything else dialed in, now imagine if I drank, if
Oh,
I was working out at the wrong times, which would stress my body more. I continued to do like super high intensity when I'm fatigued, ate the wrong things, ate a high glycemic diet, or a lot of saturated fats, all these things that create more inflammation. Now, what if I continued, had that lifestyle, and then I couldn't sleep? I wouldn't, I wouldn't have this type of energy.
no, and I think that's been a big lesson for me in the last
Irritating.
couple of years is, okay, what's a good stress and what's a bad stress, right? Eustress and distress. And I see a lot of women that are doing they think they're intermittent fasting and they're really just not eating enough. And
Now,
because they're
or
so
they're eating crap when they're eating, but
yes,
because
yeah,
they have that window.
yes, it's okay, that window, but you still have to get all of these nutrients and macros and into that little window. And so, no, so your fasting is a distress. It's not a good stress. So that hit workout that you keep thinking you have to do, that hour on the treadmill is not helping you. And
Some
so,
aren't made for it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, just learning that and learning to the body has this innate ability to heal, right? God designed the most amazing body,
Absolutely.
and it is so much smarter than any doctor, any pharmacist, and any scientist, right? It's amazing. And so just learning to trust ourselves and our bodies again and trust what it's telling us and listen, because I know that there are times that fasting is not a good thing for me. It makes things worse.
Oh, no.
And
If I put weight on, I'm more
yes,
stressed. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And so
Increases
you can't
catecholamines, the stress neurotransmitters, and I already have overactive genetically. I'm a mess.
and then we get into these crazy diets that are super
Yeah.
restrictive. So we're going to go straight carnivore, we're going to go straight vegan.
Oh my God.
And while I do believe those diets, keto, whatever, can be beneficial and therapeutic for a time being,
For a
they're
certain time.
for a certain time, right? They're not good forever. Just eat real food, eat real flippin' food. Like raw dairy, like it's not going to kill you. Eat that. I mill my own wheat and make my own bread, right? Because I'm not going to eat the crappy bread in the store. So just
Yeah.
real food. and just really getting back to the basics. It'll fix most
Yeah,
things. It'll fix most
agree.
things.
Living on the quote protein bars, which are basically candy bars, and the shakes.
Mhm.
It's
Pre-made shakes with the seed
right
oils.
there when they say, well, okay, so what are you eating for lunch? Well, I just grab a protein bar. It's good. Okay. Again, I'm like a broken record here, but when someone says, "Oh, I eat clean," I'm like, right? Even you laughed,
Yep,
right? Same thing. You're
yep,
like, I'm sure you do. Wink, like, we're gonna just see how clean is for you. And clean's different for different people.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing is
absolutely.
we're all so individual. And people get their food list and they're like, "Oh my God, I had no idea. It's okay to eat that." They come off of this keto. I had 8 years and they're afraid to eat a vegetable.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the fear mongering that's
If
around
you
this
tell a
stuff,
woman to eat a
I'm not eating
potato,
carbohydrates.
yeah,
No, it's that type of carbs. Eat the fucking lentils.
eat the real food. When I tell women to eat a potato and they're like, they think a potato is gonna make them gain 10 pounds.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, eat the potato." I wanna ask you a question. I know this is a paralysis, but what about, does blood type really play in with epigenetics and, like, health outcomes like you see? Like, how do you see
So
that?
what I can tell you there, because when I went through the certification for the PH 360, that's the AI-based platform I use. There's 15 layers of science in that algorithm. And when I was going through the course, somebody said, "Why? How come the if your blood type isn't on here?" And they said, "Of all we researched, it didn't have enough evidence that it's
Mm,
actually makes a difference." Now there's things in there, there's Ayurveda, there's Chinese medicine, there's anthropometry, chronobiology, embryology. So these are all things they looked at that are really good science to bring into this algorithm, but the eat right for your blood type, not so much. Now I'm a what am I? O negative. So that's your universal blood.
carnivore.
And
Yeah.
that one says I shouldn't eat cauliflower. I'm a total carnivore and everything. Yeah, now I like meat, but if you look at how I'm also created, the activators do tend to do better with animal protein. On the other side of the circle, they don't tend to do as well with too much animal protein.
Yeah.
And but and they're going to be more prone to the metabolic issues. So like we call them, say, the guardians, the true endomorph. They're your bigger people and they're more prone to the metabolic syndrome type things. And so they get insulin resistant. You see the lipid panels start turning to crap. And they're told, get up early in the morning, go work out, eat your protein all day, go carnivore, go keto. This is actually stressing this body so much that their labs start to get worse. They're gaining more weight and they don't know what to do. So when they see their profile come back, and they're generally going to be, we're going to switch to a very high plant base. There'll be a little bit of protein, but it's for a short period of time to take the stress off the liver, the kidneys, the pancreas that are have so many issues going, and have them eat. They can do their 3 times a day. If they want to skip breakfast because they store more, they can do that if they want. But typically they do well with eating breakfast. And then it's a big lunch and a super light
Well,
dinner, mostly veggie based during this time period. And we usually see in about 7 weeks or so, he's on my podcast. If you listen to Eric, he's down 70 pounds now. But we turned his labs around in 6 weeks.
that's amazing.
Where's my damn protein? He lives right, he and his wife live 15 minutes from me. He's become a hiking addict. I had to actually reel him in a bit. Like, dude, slow down. But for him, he was very open about it. He was drinking, done work, and he would drink beer at night. And then he was just doing nothing and just feeling more depressed. But switched all that around on him. He was large, lot of plants, more so than the protein. And his labs in 6 weeks transformed from, I say, the worst labs. I have a female that's a second close right now, but he had the worst labs I've seen in all my years of coaching. That's almost 10 years.
No.
And then we remeasure, you see the inflammation coming down, whether it's to the neck, the joints, the profile picks up on it and started adding proteins back in. So now I get my proteins. And then we put his profile to Now I want to gain muscle. Before it was loose fat. Get rid of that visceral fat that's so dangerous. And he's now gaining muscle mass. He is doing some hormones. Because he had very low testosterone. Testosterone actually raised a teeny bit just with the diet, getting off the
Yep.
alcohol. Hello?
Yep. Yep.
What the man who telling. And increases the SHBG that binds to the free testosterone. And anyway, yeah, so that's an example of somebody that, again, what is typically told of them doesn't tend to work for these specific body
Mhm.
types, but it's for a shorter period of time. And then things get a little more normalized where they get the adequate amount of protein. But the activators like me, we're your short little muscular people, the true mesomorph, made to move. We fuel that movement with food. You will never find me either on a Saturday or Sunday not food prepping for the week. I can't function if I don't have food prep. So now I've got where I throw things in the freezer and I open it up and I have so many things in the freezer to choose from, and I make more every following week so that if I go away or do something and I can't food prep, I have enough to get my week started. Because if I don't feel that movement, I'm in trouble.
Mhm.
And intermittent fasting ain't gonna cut it. Like, I have to have my 3 meals to snack. Or I'm hangry. That's us. We're the
Good.
hangry people.
Good. Yeah, and I just love that this message is, like, it is so personal.
Yeah.
It's your
Completely.
hair loss is personal, your weight loss is personal, your all it's so personal, and
Yeah.
I would love for people to quit doing this one size fits all, like, this is the trend right now, so now I gotta do carnivore, or now I
Preach.
got
Preach.
yeah, please just get off of Google, get off of Instagram, get off of Facebook, quit following, like, just just
Yeah.
listen to
Stop
your
going down
body.
those rabbit holes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was talking to the doc about this the other day where she said, if someone's working with me, I tell them, don't go down the rabbit hole. I said, I'm the same way. Like, you can look at some stuff later, but when you're doing the program, don't start doing something else in between
Mhm.
because that's going to throw us off. Stick to what we're doing,
Yeah,
and then we
well,
can look at adding some other things.
health has been made so complicated. There is so much conflicting information out there. It's so
Yep.
overwhelming. And you can find data backing up whatever little program you're looking at, right? For it or against it. And it just gets ridiculous. And so yeah, put your blinders on. And I that happens to me a lot. So I'll be working with somebody one on one and they're like, okay, but I looked this up on Google and I'm just like, okay, can we stay off of you came to me, just trust this process, just give it 3 months. Let's just focus on this. And but it's hard and I get it, right?
Exactly.
We wanna know all the things, we wanna understand it. Most people do. I get the people are
Yeah.
like, "Just tell me what to do, and I don't
That's
nerd
our
out on
type.
me." Do not. Like, I start over explaining, they're like, "Yeah, whatever, just tell me what to eat. Just give me the meal plan. I don't need to understand the epithelial lining." They don't want that stuff. So,
No,
but
no.
then
That's
I
anybody
have the
in the
people
height
that want it.
or height and they're short. That's probably one of us going, you lose me. You lose
Yeah,
me fast. Just tell me
just
what I need to do to take action.
yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, and then I have the people that need to know every little detail,
Everything.
and I respect that too, and yeah, just try to meet people where
Yeah.
they're at. But if you could, yeah, stay off the Google.
Please stay off Dr. Google. You've
Yes.
come to people like us because you've been going down the Google rabbit hole. And how far has it gotten?
Yeah, just more confused.
To reach out. Absolutely.
You've spent more
Absolutely.
money on supplements. You've wasted more money and more time, and yeah, so
Yeah. What a great conversation. We're so on the same page. It isn't keto or paleo or autoimmune paleo that's going to save people. It's really understanding you. Why is your body reacting to this? Because it's reacting, the symptoms may be the same as someone else is having, but they are not you.
exactly.
And that's, I think, such a huge message to get across. So I'm glad we actually went down that rabbit hole of why it matters. And I say this is my new thing is they talk about personalized health as the future of medicine. No, it's here. I've got
Mhm.
it. It's
Yep.
here. You've got it, right? This is what we do. And it's not looking at you as a number or as just a patient or a client, but you as a person, as an individual, and everything that's surrounding you. So,
Absolutely.
hopefully people like get out there, take that first step. When you're having these issues, start with your lifestyle. Always, always start with the lifestyle. You can reach out if people want to contact you, Carrie. How can they reach out to you? We will have all this in the show notes as well and any links, but tell us.
They can find me online at carriehicks.com. It's CarrieHicks. That's my website. You can find me there. And I do have the website is not about hair loss, but there is a page dedicated just to hair loss. So if that's what you're looking for help with, I've got you. But my main approach is I just start everybody with HTMA and go from there. So if that's, what you're looking for and you would like to just see where you're at and where maybe the next steps should be for you, I'd love to be able to help. So
Awesome. Because hair loss is the symptom.
hair loss is the symptom. It is your body's cry for help. And then bonuses, I have the salon and some amazing stylists, and we do help women with like what's how do you look and feel on the outside while we're working on the inside? We take this full approach. So
Yep.
we do work with toppers and invisible bead extensions. So we do help women with the outside while we're working on the inside. Because
I love it.
I know how important that is as well. So
This is what people see. And sorry, but people judge.
and it's how we show up in the world. I have
It's
had
how we
women
show.
sit in my chair and I'll be like, "Hey, how was the wedding you were going to when I last saw you?" And she'll say, I literally had this happened recently, and she said, "Well, I didn't go." I'm like, "Why didn't you go?" She's like, "I just couldn't go with my hair looking like this." They're not living
Oh,
they are not living their life,
not
right? They're not
no,
showing up,
no,
and
mm-mm,
they're not able to show up as themselves and confident,
no. The
and that
confidence.
is so heartbreaking to me.
It
And
is. It
so
is.
if there's something we can do to help you on the outside while we're
Yeah.
working on the
Agree.
inside, that's what we're about. So between the
Yeah.
salon and then my health practice, that's big picture here. We're
Love
working
it.
on all of it.
And the salon again, I want to say is in Flagstaff, Arizona. It's Crimson
It's
and Clover over and over. I'm only a few years older than you.
and that is so funny. When I named it, my husband was like, "That's a dumb name. Nobody's gonna like that name." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, the 40-year-old women I'm marketing to are gonna love it too."
Now, are they going to be saying the Tommy James version or the Joan Jett?
Yeah, true, true. Yeah, I'm the Joan Jett age, but
Maybe it's my few years because I'm 59. So I remember the Tommy James first and then Joan Jett came in, like when I was in high school. So, and that funny thing, I just saw her in concert and I thought she opened up for Alanis Morissette last June. And I thought, Joan Jett, yeah, that woman is in her 60s
was she
and
rocking it?
she rocked it. I mean, I usually you see people like stand up, sit down during concerts. I'm one I like to stand. I piss people off. I can't see. Okay, well, then stand up too. I didn't come here to just sit. I want to dance, right? and luckily I'm short, but the whole the whole arena was on their feet the entire time. Like
You
just
stay seated.
she and I am a huge Alanis Morissette fan. She like blew Alanis out of the water. And now I see she's coming back to Red Rocks with Billy
Oh,
Idol, who's another one of my faves. I'm going, oh, I may have to do that this summer.
that would be fun.
It's just
I
great.
to go with you.
You should come out. If you want to come out, you come out and we will go to that concert
Oh,
because
that'd be fun.
there's no bad seat at Red Rocks. And I see Billy when he comes. He's one of my all-time faves. Got a drumstick last time 2 years ago, front row.
Nice.
And-
Nice.
but yeah, I just like concerts that they just provide me the old ones with good memories of back in the day, and I like to move. And that
Mhm.
again, I like to jam. But if you get the opportunity, if you want to come out, you let me know. But she rocks it. So Crimson and Clover over and over, and she plays it. So thank
Nice. Nice.
you so much. What a fun conversation.
You.
So reach out to Carrie, you guys, and just know that hair loss, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to stay this way, but know that just like I say all the time, every choice we make is going to turn a gene up, turn a gene down, and choose wisely. We get this body one time. It's never too soon or it's never too late to turn things around. So you have so much control. Take control of yourself. Your health is something you can't put a price tag on because it's your quality of life. And we're here to live and thrive and not just survive. So thank you so much for reaching out. Please, please, please share this podcast with everybody because I guarantee you, either you are suffering from hair loss or you know someone who is having debilitating effects from hair loss. Please share this and then go out there, make it a great day, and be your most authentic selves. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for tuning into my podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode, I'd love for you to share it with someone who would find the information useful. Also, if you can leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts, it'll help the information get out to others. You can check out my podcast site and sign up for my newsletter for updates and upcoming shows, and that link is in the show notes below. And go make it a great day and let your authentic self shine.